Hello, this is Matt Cochran with RE/MAX 100, and today let's take a look at the Escalation Addendum. When to use it, when absolutely not to use it, how to fill it in, and how to best deploy it so it does what it is designed to do, which is get you the house that you really, really want. Escalation Addendum, let me zoom in. Here in Northern Virginia, it's just a one-page document. This is pretty simple and pretty straightforward, and this video is not going to be a terribly long video. Straightforward here at the top. It's made on a certain date to a sales contract on a certain date. These are going to be the same date every single time. You are the purchaser. There is a seller, or maybe seller number one and number two and number three, who knows? And for the sale of the property, 1, 2, 3 Amazing House Way. So you're going to fill all that out super straightforward. Down here, this next paragraph, this is where the escalation part comes in. And what you're basically doing with an escalation addendum is you are telling the seller, look, I will pay you. A lot of times what people do is they offer asking price, but they say, I'll pay you up to a maximum of 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 above asking price in certain increments, depending on what the other offers are. For instance, if it is a $600,000 listing, but you really love it and you would be willing to pay $650,000 for the house, you say to the seller, I will pay you $600,000 in your sales contract or your offer paperwork, but then you also submit an escalation addendum, and the escalation addendum says, however, we will pay you up to a maximum of $650,000, providing you have some other offer that triggers the escalation. So if an offer for $625,000 comes in, then you would beat that offer. Now, the question is, what amount will you beat the offer by? And that's what this first blank here is. It's the increase increment. So if that $625,000 offer comes in, this first blank here, you would say, we'll beat it by, don't say $1,000. Everybody says $1,000. Doesn't seem to matter the sales price. Too often we see $1,000. If you're going to beat it, go over the top and make an effort to really make your offer shine. So my recommendation to you, if you're going to put an escalation addendum in there, make the amount that you beat the offer by something worth the seller's time. So $2,500, $5,000, $7,500. I've seen $10,000 in there before. So make sure this increased increment is worthwhile to the sellers to turn their back on the other offers. And then here's where you put your ceiling in. So this is kind of your protection clause right here, is you say up to a maximum of $650,000. A couple little strategies on this here. Again, the first one I told you already is don't put a small number here. If it's not worth the seller's time, a lot of times they'll just go with the one that seems more serious. And the one who made the higher offer to start, a lot of times has a more serious feel to it. So unless your offer really beats that one, a lot of times you'll lose out if you make this number too small. And then your top price here, kind of think what everybody else is going to be doing. A lot of people are going to use round numbers for whatever reason. When people are putting bids on properties, they use round numbers. So if in our example, it was listed at $600,000, you're going to offer up to a maximum of $650,000 or so. I would say offer $653,000 or $654,000 or $655,000, $657,000. And again, obviously this depends on your comfort zone, but what if there's two people that offer $650,000? I will tell you, just having looked at lots and lots of different offers, the percentages would be more likely that two would cap out at $650,000 than two capping out at $657,000. So I'm just telling you, go a little bit over where one of the round numbers would be, and you're likely to be one of the higher bidders. Now, that is not to say that someone might totally blow you out of the water, but that is a good strategy just to go a little hair above some of those big round numbers. The zeros, the 25s, the 50s, the 75s. I think you get the idea. The next paragraph here is there's two options here. One is that you waive the appraisal valuation. And that means if you offer up to $650,000 and it gets escalated all the way up to $650,000, but the appraisal only comes in at $625,000, you have to add an extra $25,000 to your down payment or modify your financing in order to basically bridge that appraisal gap. The bank is only going to loan or base their loan on what the house appraises for. So you really need to have a conversation with your real estate agent about what you want to do with respect to this. Now, option number 2 says you retain the appraisal, and that way you would maintain an appraisal contingency in your contract, and that way the house would have to appraise for, in our case, at least $650,000 or whatever your final asking price is. And if it doesn't, then the appraisal contingency language kicks in. And a lot of times you still have the option, if you want to throw the extra money in. You have the option to ask the seller to lower the price. You can kind of negotiate at other terms, or you can void the contract. So with the appraisal contingency in, there's an extra layer of protection for you. A lot of times when we're dealing with clients or working with clients on an escalation addendum, they want to know, well, how do I know that there really was another offer? And I just highlighted it here on this form for us, but seller shall provide to purchaser a complete copy of the other offer. So you do get a copy of the other offer that basically triggered your escalation clause, so that you know it was for real, and you know that the seller or the listing agent are not just pulling your leg or being dishonest with you. You agree to initial the changes on the actual contract if you are requested to do so, and you very likely will be. The banks like to see an actual contract with the numbers on it. So you'll probably have to do that. And then what you would do is, as part of your offer paperwork, you're going to sign off on the purchaser side here. And I would tell you, have your buyer agent put it on the top of the paperwork, because you want them to be sure that they see this form, that it doesn't get lost somewhere in the package. So that is the escalation addendum in a nutshell. Hopefully this is useful. And I said at the very beginning, I would tell you when to use it, when not to use it. Absolutely a decent tool to at least consider using if there are multiple offers. If there's more than one offer on a property, it's not a bad tool to use potentially, if the listing agent will allow it. Sometimes the listing agents say, we don't want to see it, just make your highest and best offer. That's where you have to really get your buyer agent to be in collaboration with the listing agent to find out sort of what the rules of this particular negotiation are. Let me tell you when not to use it. Don't use it if there's not another offer. And I know that sounds dumb, but I have actually seen agents submit this and there's not another offer. But what it's doing is it's actually revealing what their top price on the property is. And then the sellers negotiate a little bit stronger because they know how serious the buyers are for the property. So just be sure your agent is discussing things with the listing agent and is having conversations and is in communication, so that you know whether it's a good idea to use the escalation addendum or not. Getting the property you want, there is a strategy to it, and the escalation addendum is one of the tools that you might use to get just the property you want. Now, I hope this video has been useful to you. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have a question you would like me to address in a future video, put it in the comments below, and I will do my best to get that question answered for you.